Hello and good afternoon, good morning, whatever part of the day it is. And have you thought about bringing your business online? And do you need help with that? And what's the value of bringing it online and maybe having a mentor? So I have a special guest today that I want to bring on, and we're going to talk about the value of having some help bringing your business online, having a mentor. So if you're joining me live, please say hello, and on the replay, tell me where you're coming from. Love to shout out to you. And if we haven't met before, my name is Olive Dodd, and I'm here on my business page because I want to inspire, teach, encourage you to bring your business online. We don't want to spam our family and friends. We want to use social media to leverage our business by using social media strategies. And one of the biggest parts of that is having some help doing it. So having a mentor. So I have a special guest today, a good friend of mine, and we're going to talk about all these things and the value of mentorship. So let me bring her on. Oop. And oh. There we go.
Yay, I'm back.
It would have been a lot easier. And so here we have Dianne. So
hello, everybody.
So happy to have you here. So Dianne and I are both on a journey, and we wanted to talk about the value of being online and mentorship. So Dianne, tell us about, what brought you into the online world?
Oh my gosh. Well, I started doing the live challenges with Helen, what you're on right now. And she did 3 special videos for the people that were in her group. And I think it was about halfway through the second video, I just knew that that's where I wanted to be, because I'd been struggling. I've been involved in my own businesses for over 24 years. And I was really struggling with that. You get somebody who's super, super excited, and all of a sudden then you hear crickets and you don't hear anything else from them again. They don't answer your calls. It's like you didn't even exist. And it's really frustrating. So I've always felt for probably, 15 years that there had to be a better way, but I could never find it. So doing the lives with Helen and listening to her training, it just clicked with me. And then I went for it, and here I am.
And beyond that too. And
yeah.
And so what about the learning journey and the difference that having, somebody else that has that knowledge and the experience, to guide you along?
Yeah. I think the thing for me with that is when I went to NES 10, you were with me, but I really, really understood that they're there for me and for all of us, to help us succeed. And they do whatever it takes to make sure that we succeed. Like, nobody's left behind, even if you're struggling and you're a newbie and you don't have a clue, because there's a lot of us, like, I am not tech savvy. So, some of this has been a super chat, as you know, because you've been one of my mentors with that. But that's the thing that really got me, is they don't leave anybody behind, so it doesn't matter where you are or what you're struggling with. You're part of the group, whether you're a big, elite or whatever, the Invictus and stuff. They just don't leave you behind. They check in on you to see how you're doing, and they're constantly doing training. Like, we could be on a training, I think, every day of the week. They're just there for you, and they just treat you so well, because their main goal is to make sure that we succeed. And I think that's what was so powerful for me, because I've never had that in any of my businesses. Now I do.
Yeah. Oh, I know. The community is just incredible. Not only the trainers, but everybody else is supportive.
Yes.
And, that is so key. So it's not just, you're paying somebody to help you, but you have this whole support system of people, prompting you along and helping, answering questions.
Yeah. And they don't let you get away with, I can't do this. They find out what's going on. They don't just say, it's okay. They figure out what's going on in your life that's stopping you from moving forward. And then they they deal with that, and then you can move forward. And they
Mhm.
help you however they can. I mean, we get, as you know, we get calls, you know, once a month with different mentors, and they really challenge you, but in a way that pushes you out of your comfort zone, but doesn't push you so far out that there's no way that you can do it. And
Yeah.
they'll, you know, come back and say, okay, is this realistic for you? You know, you give them a time frame on when you say you can get it done, and then they question you and say, okay, is that realistic? You know, well, maybe not. You know. So, but it's so refreshing, and because I feel that I'm important. You know, like the
Mhm.
mentors treat
Yeah.
me like I'm an equal, but yet they're there to support me and push me just a little bit further. And
Yeah.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that.
And what about, I mean, because there's always those difficult times, those moments of frustration, and you just kind of question, what you're doing and if you should be there.
Oh,
And, what do you think about that?
oh, I've had a few of those. I think, well, and I think that's how they support you too, because in all of the trainings that we do, they're always talking about the training wheels. We're new to all of this. I mean, I was the type of person that didn't even share pictures on Facebook before I started this, and now all of a sudden I'm out there in the public on Facebook, and it scares the crap out of me some days, but
Yeah.
they teach you that it's not that scary world. And so that we're all learning, and we've got our training wheels on, and we go at our pace, and we don't have to go from here to there in 2 seconds. We can take our time to get there. And
Yeah.
it's not all about getting to the end. It's about the journey in between, and making sure that we understand and learn and are supported on that journey. But yeah, I've had many times where it's like, oh my God, what have I done? But
Yes.
I have to tell you, out of all the things I've done over all the years, this one still excites me. I get up every day and think, yes, today is another day. I honestly do. I just have that. I don't know. It just feels right, I guess,
Yeah.
is the best way to describe it. Yeah,
And I like to think of it as they tell you that it's going to be a hard journey. So you're
absolutely.
aware of it. So it's not a surprise thinking, oh no, and you're not the only one. So
Exactly.
you're already prepared, to climb that hill, that learning curve. And so it's not a surprise when you get those moments.
That's very true. Yeah.
They prepare us for that kind of thing.
Yeah. And they have Facebook, private Facebook group, can't even talk, Facebook groups where we can go and ask those hard questions, and we can be ourselves and say, hey, I'm really struggling here. I need some help. And somebody is there to help you,
Yeah.
and they're there very quickly. It's not like you have to wait weeks and weeks and weeks to get an answer. They're there. Like, they're just there.
Oh, I'm amazed.
So,
You
yeah.
can post a question in a post and it's answered, by
Yeah.
different people. So you get different aspects on it. So very, very helpful. So
Yeah.
you're never without an answer.
Best decision I ever made.
Yes. And of course, there's always those things that we do, that would be considered, I hate to use this word, but a failure, or it's not working and that kind of thing. And,
Hmm.
but it's not really, they teach us that it's not really a failure. It's, a stepping stone, a learning
Exactly.
curve,
Yeah.
and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Mhm.
Very supportive.
Yeah. So what do you do when you get stuck on things?
I call you. I call
Yeah.
you if it's something that we can deal with together. If it's something
Yeah.
more, then I can message my mentor. I have calls with her every 3 to 4 weeks. We can go on the training calls on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Like, there's tons of stuff. We can go on the Facebook groups and ask the question. And, we've got a lot of different places that we can go to ask for help.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important, because it's not just waiting for my mentor and saying, oh my gosh, I can't do this. We have our own little group, just us that we're at NES, that we can, you know, kind of go into that group too, you know, and we've had Zoom calls just to support each other because we were all feeling kind of like, ugh, what have we done? So there's lots of different ways that we can ask for help.
Yeah.
And I think that's great because you're not just, you know, it's not just about phoning your upline or whatever it is. You've got many, many resources. And people like the guys right at the top that own the company, they're accessible too, which blows my mind. And I love that. You know, that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's such a wonderful feeling of community, right from local with you, you know, to our little group, to the mentors. It keeps expanding. There's so many different levels of support.
exactly.
So, yeah, I couldn't imagine doing this without some kind of mentorship, because trying to learn all this information on your own by going to, you know, this spot and that spot, by finding different shiny objects, as they say,
Exactly.
you know, and figuring out on your own, it would be such a hurdle, and you'd be
Yep.
repeating yourself.
And I have to tell you, I was the queen of shiny object syndrome. You know, I truly was just, well, if I just have this certification, then I'll be a success. If I just do this, then I'll be a success. I don't feel that way anymore. I feel like I've got it right here in a nice, neat little package.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So mentorship is what it's all
Oh,
about. Okay.
absolutely.
I want to respect everybody's time. So
Awesome.
it's been wonderful. And so if you anybody has any questions about mentorship and, you know, want more information, please feel free to contact myself or Dianne. We'd be more than happy to assist you in getting you started with your mentorship. So
Absolutely.
yes. So thank you, Dianne, and we'll talk again very soon.
Yes. Thanks so much, Olive, for having me.
And I just love being on this journey with you.
Awesome. Me too.
Okay.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.